How is everyone doing today? Oh, let's adjust this. Oh, we might have to. I moved all of my stuff to my office and now. Oh, hi. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Superconscious Sundays. We are going to be talking about gossip. Gossip, and how powerful gossip can actually be as a tool for you to really move through some really heavy, dense energies that can come up when you are a super conscious leader, right? When you are actually stepping into leadership positions, not just within your own business, which of course that's important, and not just within your own life, but this is like when you go to run for office, right? This is when you go to stand up and become like that hippie PTA mom. Or you go and you're actually like going back into the corporate world, right? Like going and becoming a consultant for some of the people that like they're gonna talk shit. And you're going to have to learn how to deal with people talking behind your backs. And I know that this is something that we all deal with on a personal level, but think about how many people's careers have been ruined because they weren't actually able to hold within them the light necessary to know that it doesn't matter how much shade is cast at them. They are the motherfucking sun and there's nothing that can hit them, right? This is the power of being unfuckwithable, knowing your worth, right? I use those two terms pretty interchangeably. The unfuckwithable is like that badass gangster, like, come at me, bro. Like, try to turn my light off because I promise you, I've done enough of my inner work that you can't talk shit on me. There's just no, like, I don't give a fuck. Literally. Not that I don't care about the planet, right? Not giving a fuck and not caring are actually different energies. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And really just coming into this heart space as we're like coming back out. We're having more in-person events. There's going to be more gatherings. There's going to be people coming out from quarantine in this pandemic. Like, totally changed, completely shifted. And we also have to give people the ability to change. The shit that they might have been talking on someone else 6 months ago when we were all in the midst of lockdown should never be used against someone, especially in this community. When we ourselves experience overnight changes, then we need to allow other people to change as well and stop with the gossip girl, mean girls bullshit in the healing community specifically because it's bad, right? But even online coaches, online, it's just online, right? How to get over it, the trolls and the haters, and like even people, maybe you worked with someone a year ago and now they talk mad shit on you all the time and they're trying to ruin your reputation. Well, how I look at it, and then we'll go and light our candle. How I look at it, a ruined reputation means that you now have extreme freedom because you don't have to deal with anyone's expectations anymore. Those expectations have been thrown the fuck away. Your reputation is ruined, and you get to be like, okay, this is me. This is me in all of my shiny, bright, glorious, sexy self. This is me. This is how I show up. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. And everyone else's shit talking literally doesn't affect me except for to give me more energy to and process so I can shine even brighter. So I'm going to talk you through how I do that personally and just have a really open, amazing conversation on this gorgeous Sunday before I leave to go to the Salt Flats for another epic photo shoot. Shout out to Andy, shout out to Emily, shout out to Bonneville Jones. Like, love you guys. I'm so stoked. So, let's see. None of my business what they say. Yeah, exactly. It's none of your business. Exactly. So, say hi when you're here. I'm going to grab our stuff to light our candle. Love it when you engage. Love when I know who's watching. Because I know that that little thing in the corner sometimes lies. And I think that I was talking to no one the whole time. And then I get a DM like, that was amazing. I'm like, the thing in the corner said no one was watching. So say hi when you're here. Okay. And on the replay too. I love to know. So let's go ahead, take a second, get centered, put your phone down for a second, rub your hands together, reach up and clap, and pull it down. Taking a couple of deep breaths with your hands in prayer pose at the heart center. In through the nose. out through the mouth, letting it sigh out in through the nose. And one more time in through the nose. And really sigh it out. Just meditate for a second while I light our candle for open communication, to know how to connect to the sun on this Sunday and really love ourselves, know that we are the leaders of New Earth, that we are here to change the planet, that our vibration is unfuckwithable, and to really own that, to own it and to let the gossip go. And instead you learn how to gobble up the gossip and use it for more fuel for your own personal growth and for the betterment of the entire planet. So I'm going to do that. And today I actually don't have any incense. I know that's weird. So we're going to do the finger instead, which this is what you can always do. Hold on. Honey, I'm on my live stream. You need to go find your daddy. That's your daddy's decision. I'm okay with it, but you got to talk to daddy. Thank you. Please. Downstairs, I believe. Okay. Use your finger. So if you don't ever have incense and you're doing one of these lives with me and you're like, well, I don't have any incense or sage or anything, you can use your finger and you just weave it in the same thing in a figure 8 motion, just setting the intention. Like your hands are filled with light, right? It's the reason why we bless our food and all this other stuff. So you can use the same power in your body to create the same field and just clear the energy, bringing all polarities into the singularity, opening a sacred time outside of the constructs of space and time to really allow for immediate healing and growth to occur. And this is the weirdest thing. I have like a hair on me and I don't have hair. Okay. Hi, Tiffany. Hello, everyone. So, gossip is the gateway to freedom. The fuck am I talking about? So I already kind of hinted, right? This, I'm seeing it all over right now. That people who used to follow other people back in the day, maybe 2018, 2019, are have, they've shifted. They're not following that same person anymore. Maybe there was an actual breakdown in the relationship. Maybe there was some drama, right? And the way that we process as humans is through telling stories. And so we really get to a place where, yeah, someone might have heard us talk shit on someone else at some point before we had done our own growth. What happens is that later, once we've actually grown, people want to remind us of the fact that we used to talk shit, right? Good morning, Christina. Like that's what they want to, like, hey, you used to talk shit on this person. How come you're going to go help her at her event? Right? Or, hey, you used to talk shit on this guy. How come you're going on a date with him? Right? And we don't allow for the gossip that goes on, either what we've already done. So we either hold on to guilt and resentment. We don't allow ourselves to forgive ourselves for before, or we hold other people into a standard of what they did 6 months ago, what they did a year ago. And we don't give them the same privilege that we give ourselves of really fast transformation, right? I work with dragons. We work within a vortex of ascension. My clients see results with me within a month after working on the same problem for a year, right? We work fast. I tell you all the time, I'm into the drag racing, not the NASCAR, right? I want 0 to 300 in 2 seconds, not do 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 do. That's how I work. That's how my clients know I work. It's the reason why they get the insane, crazy results they get. But it's also why I tell them, like, you got to put on your 5-point harness. You got to be ready for 5Gs off the start line. And that means being unfuckwithable, meaning knowing your worth, which is when people are talking shit and you have people sliding into your DMs like, hey, congratulations on your transition. That's a huge one that I get. I have always been biologically female, okay? There are literal pictures of my daughter's birth on the internet. I promise you I was born with a pussy. I still have one. The scars on my chest are from a breast reduction, right? So that's something I deal with a lot. People, in my own city will ask others like, hey, was Karen ever biologically a man? So that's a huge one that I've been dealing with and clearing, especially since November when I've been consistently shaving my head. It wasn't just like a spiritual one time and my hair is now like 2 inches out. No, I've been shaving it every 2 weeks. Another one has to do with the fact that I'm what I would consider an ethical slut, right? Polyamorous. And so there's all of that conversation of like, wait, isn't she married? Why is she on this date with this guy? Or how come there's these extremely sexual photos of her with someone who's not her husband, right? Again, that's because that's my life choice. I think that I should be able to have sex with people that I love, and I happen to love everyone. So doesn't mean that I want to have sex with everyone, but it's a lot of us are opening up, right? The old traditional Roman and like property, like I am not my husband's property. I have my own freedom. I'm a sovereign being, and with that allows for the growth of more conversations, right? But that I live in Utah where polygamy is completely outlawed because of the Mormons, and the idea of polyandry or polyamory at all is just like fuck to the no. Like, okay, some guys have a couple of wives, but if a woman has a couple of husbands, like that's an absolute like not gonna happen, right? Poor fuck's not found. Exactly, Colin. Exactly. So right? So that's another one. I homeschool my kids. I actually unschool my children. So we don't have a solid curriculum. Utah is really lax and is you're able to just sign an affidavit saying you're taking care of their schooling. So my kids are learning metaphysics, they're learning history, they're learning languages, they're learning all these things that are not the curriculum that their friends who go to public school are having. Or my kids are not getting the right now because I am a scientist and I would like to have more data before I go and put something into my children, especially my daughter who has had allergies in the past to things that they put generally into any you know what I mean, right? So those are all things that get talked about, right? And here's the other thing. I'm not really like I'm stepping into more in-person stuff in Salt Lake City, but I actually already have a reputation in Salt Lake City. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm sexy as fuck. And I am not afraid to shine bright. And that looks like conceit. It looks like arrogance. It looks like just some bitch from the east side sort of thing. And there have been people who are like, oh, the reason why I never got a massage from her is because I thought she was going to break me in half. Or the reason why I don't invite her is because she's just a snooty bitch. So I haven't even actually done anything to anyone specifically. Don't know very many people within the healing community in Salt Lake. And still, when I do meet someone, it's like, oh shit, you're that Karen? Because there's not very many 6 foot tall Karens who are Amazons. Do you know what I mean? So I already have a reputation. Without having melodrama, without having any of this stuff, there was already a reputation that people knew about me, right? And then in the online space, same thing. Oh, she's a super hard ass. Like she needs to come with a warning. Um, she'll get in your face, right? Like I work with dragons, people. Like I am not a floaty fairy or a sweet little innocent mermaid. Like I relate to Ursula way more than I relate to Ariel. Okay, like let's get with the program. At this point, it's been 2 fucking years of the dragon doula. Like figure it out. But that still means like, oh, you were really mean on this live stream, or oh, do you understand that people have trauma, blah, 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 right? So I get this all day long as a social influencer. The bigger you get, the more shit they're going to talk. This is something that Beyonce knows. This is something that Kanye knows. This is something that Trump knows. This is something that everyone knows, right? Liz Cheney fucking knows it. The bigger you get, the more presence you have, the more shit people are going to talk. And it's because of two reasons. One, they haven't done the inner work. So there are things that you're doing that they're processing through their shadow. So, like, my insane confidence gets filtered through as arrogance and conceit. So, even though I don't consider myself conceited, I don't consider myself as, an arrogant bitch or anything like that, it comes across to other people who might be more timid, who haven't looked at themselves, who haven't been able to sit in front of the mirror for hours and hours. Like we're looking at a couple hundred hours at this point of mirror work, right? Sitting in front of there being like, I'm badass. I am badass. I am the baddest bitch on this planet. I deserve everything that I could ever dream of, right? There is a reason why my mirror work masterclass is always sold out, always has so many people on it, is always the most epic of my mirror classes because it's the work that works. Mirror work is the work that works because you can't hide when you're butt naked with no makeup on. There's nowhere for you to hide. You get to go into those shadows, right? So the first thing is that you've done the inner work and they have it. They've got this filter, and looking at you is like looking at the sun. They're like, oh shit, where are my stunner shades? Like, oh fuck, I can't look directly, can't look directly at her. They have this filter going on because they haven't done their own work. Versus when like you see Beyonce and Lady Gaga in the same room together, like they probably don't have beef with each other because one star recognizes another star and is like, hey girl, how are you? Right? They both have done the work. They're both equals. There's no jealousy. There's no anger. And if jealousy and anger comes up, hopefully they're emotionally responsible enough to know that when you feel jealous of someone, it actually has nothing to do with that person. It has to do with you. Nothing ever has to do with anybody, actually. That's the best part about becoming emotionally mature. This is the best part about becoming super conscious. It is an extremely and inherently selfish way of living, but honestly, what the fuck is wrong with being selfish? I own everything. If I see a girl walking down the street and I'm like, damn, she's a fucking 10, and I start feeling jealousy, I will quickly make a note. Like, what is it about it? Okay, I like her booty. Oh, I like her style. I like this, that, and the other. I am not going to blame her. I'm going to go back and be like, hey, bitch, time to go do more squats. You want a booty like that? I'm going to need to do the work. Oh, I really love that outfit. I need to go shopping, right? My jealousy doesn't mean she's going to rip off her clothes right now and somehow ass transplant to me, and I'm going to have her booty and I'm going to have those clothes, right? I have to do the work. And it's not helping anyone for me to go home and be like, hey, husband, I saw this bitch on Main Street, blah, 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 blah. She had this fat booty. She had this banging body. She had this clothes, blah, blah, blah. I'm so jealous of her. It's not benefiting anyone either. I'm using all of this energy towards something that's not productive, right? Versus the other way where you recognize what you're jealous about, process it. Okay, so these are the actions I need to take. If I'm jealous of that big booty, I got to get my booty to the gym, right? Or do some higher stairs or be getting on the mountain more often, whatever it is. Yeah, so the inner work. So the first reason people talk gossip is because they haven't done their own inner work, and maybe they don't know how, but it's that they see something in you that's reflected, and it's something that they haven't accepted within themselves, right? So extreme confidence comes off to them as arrogance, right? Doing a bunch of inner work comes off to them as narcissistic because they haven't been able to sit in front of their mirror and say, I am a fucking narcissist. I am a rapist. I am a murderer. I am a pedophile, and own those shadowy parts of yourself too, right? You have to own it all. We live in duality. You cannot only own your light. You have to own your dark too, or none of this shit works. You are not going to manifest at the speed that I manifest my fucking crazy, amazing life if you only look at half of the world, like walking around just hanging out in the light. You're walking around cut in half. Like you're in your head, you're denying your flesh, you're in the spirit, you're in the astral plane, you're in with all those Pleiadians and the star seeds, but you're out of your body and you're not allowing yourself the carnal pleasures of life, right? You are here in a physical body. You can experience pain. Lots of people seem to be okay with experience tons and tons and tons of pain in their life, but when you go at the opposite of that same spectrum, which is pleasure, way less people are willing to experience the level of pleasure that they are allow themselves to experience pain. And that's because of the patriarchal belief that pleasure is bad for you. When honestly, sex is great and pleasure is amazing, right? Like this is a huge core belief of the ethical slut, but it's an amazing book. If you guys have never read The Ethical Slut, go read it. It has amazing content about just the idea that how we love in the West. It's very weird and twisted how we've created monogamy. It's an interesting, if you're anthropologically inclined like I am, I'm a huge anthropologist. It's really fascinating to read that book. Anyway, I digress. So that's the first thing. Like I said, stunner shades. You are too bright. The second reason why they talk shit is really actually like an offshoot of it, right? Is because they're not gifting you the grace of being allowed to change. Okay. This is something that I had to deal with my husband last year. We were having a lot of stuff going on in our marriage, a lot of things going on. And even though he was attending meetings and doing some other things for his anger management and all of this stuff, I was still just like, nope, this is how you've always been. I've known you since I was 12. I've been with you since I was 18. I don't care. Like, this is who you are. This is how you are. Like, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't until he literally called me out in the middle of an argument where he's like, why is it you're allowed to change, but I'm not? And I had to sit with that for a while, for a few weeks, actually, of like, wow, he's totally right. I want him to see me in this new light. I want everyone to see all the work that I've done. I want to know that I have evolved. I don't want to be judged or people assuming that I'm going to act the way that I did 3 years ago because I'm not that person. And yet here I am treating my own husband like he's the person that I knew when I was 20, right? That's the other reason why people gossip, is because they have a double standard. Honey, no. Honey, no. Not today.
Shutting the window for me.
Okay, then you need to go ask Daddy.
Okay,
Okay, go ask him again. Mommy's on a live stream. You can say hi, but I need you to leave.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say have the best day.
Have the best day.
Blow kisses and then go find Daddy. Okay, go find Daddy. Oh no, don't blow out my candle. Okay, you blew out one. Don't. Honey, we're in the middle of needing that. We're in ceremony right now. Go ahead. Go find Daddy. She's blowing out our candle. Ryan, go find Daddy. Go find Daddy.
Come on, honey, choo-choo ride.
Choo-choo ride. Will you lock the door? That's the second child to come in.
Gotcha.
Thank you. This is real life. This is real life, right? That's something that's I've been gossiped about, is the fact that like my live streams are real, guys. I have 3 children and a husband living in here, right? I can't always remember to lock my door. But yet there are those out there that are so perfectionists. They're like, I cannot believe that her child came in. Blah, 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 blah. I cannot believe this, that, and the other, right? Like, that would be an example of someone who hasn't done their own inner work, right? They're not even a recovering perfectionist. They are just a perfectionist, right? So what I was saying is that the other side of that is that they don't let you change. Essentially, you are still going to be the person you were pre-quarantine, which I don't know how many of you guys are totally different people than you were like this time last year when we were like still only like 6 weeks into lockdown for some places, or like a month into it. This the changes that 2020 allowed us to go through, hindsight is 2020, right? So we got stuck in our houses alone, a lot of us forced to do inner work, right? Those of us who were doing inner work pre-pandemic actually were set up for a little bit more success because we knew how to sit with our thoughts already, right? We knew how to be in our corona sphere and be in our head all the time and process it. There was a lot of people in this world that they literally didn't make it because their head was so fucked and they were not willing to do that work that we talk about of knowing their worthiness and knowing that everything was going to be okay and moving through the traumas and moving through the wounds and all of that stuff that I teach that's so close to my heart. It kills me that there are some countries that had a higher suicide death rate than they did coronavirus death rate. It's heartbreaking. Just because we don't teach people how to sit and be in their heads or tell them it's okay to change, that you don't have to be your story anymore, right? That's the biggest thing that I teach you. Know your worth, first thing. And the second thing, which is right there with it, is that your past does not define your future. The future is always defining the past. Even the way we speak. I love potatoes. The word love means something to the word I. The word potatoes means something to the word love. If I say I love you, the whole sentence changes. I hate potatoes changes the sentence. Every single thing that comes subsequently after the fact is defining the thing that happened before it. So being able to own that you are the author of your story, that you made all these choices, whether consciously or unconsciously, that you are a fractal of the divine here in physical form, manifested so that you can sing your own song and radiate your own vibration and not give a fuck about the other songs, right? It's not that you're out there fighting with the other songs like, oh, your song doesn't, we don't harmonize. It's that you go and you hang out with people that do create a harmony. And when you're together, it's a beautiful symphony of energy. And then there's people that you're just like, no, man, like my classical is not going to jam with that hard death metal. It's just not going to fit. I don't judge your death metal. I don't have a problem with your death metal, but I don't want my classical music mixed up in there. That's it. There's not a judgment. I got my death metal days too, right? But there's no gossip going on with me with that. The judgment. Gossiping is just judgment. And anytime anyone is judging you, they're actually only judging themselves because they don't have the capacity to own that they have changed or that they can change, that they're not just a product of their stories. So if they're a product of their stories, you must be a product of yours. Meaning, if there's someone that has always talked shit and they're always going behind people's back and they're saying, don't fuck with me, I'm going to take down your reputation. You don't know who I fucked with, Felicia. Like those types of people, first of all, get them the fuck out of your life if you have those people in your life still. Like, you do not. That can be a hard boundary for you. Like, they start talking shit about someone over there. They're like, oh, Susan, blah, blah. You can literally be like, no, I'm not available to talk shit. If you and I only have a relationship, if you have a relationship with someone and the only thing you do when you're together is talk about whose life is worse or talk shit on the people who have good lives, that's not a friend, that's a bitch buddy. And honestly, do you want your vibration in that space of jealousy and anger and hatred and judgment? I don't think so, right? That's actually a huge reason why a lot of us healers end up alone for a good chunk of our journeys and we don't feel like we have a lot of friends or a lot of people. It's because the general population is raised up on sitcoms and reality TV where shit talking and gossiping and judgment is absolutely okay, and not only okay, but like they want, like it's the only entertainment, right? No, when you can sit alone, you're either a wild beast or you're a god, or in my case, you're a dragon, so you're both, right? Gossip is the gateway to freedom because as soon as your reputation is trashed, you get to create your own reputation. You literally have no fucks to give towards the way that they expect you to show up because you don't even, like, you have your boundaries, you have your standards, and you get to shift. And you allow other people to shift too. The person that was talking shit on you 6 months ago might end up being your best friend and biggest asset to help grow your company if you allow them to. If you can drop your own judgments and say, okay, yeah, this guy was talking mad shit on this person and blah, 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 but I've watched him change. I've watched her shift. I've seen the inner work they've done, and I'm willing to give them my time, right? I'm willing to give them my time. I'm willing to give them my energy. I'm willing to say that if I can shift, they can shift too. Warning, dragons included. Yep, me totally different from when I was. Yep. Speaking of mirror work, when's your next masterclass? Yeah, so grateful for starting my work before the pandemic. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know, Colin. Maybe we'll do one next month. Who wants a mirror class? If you want a mirror masterclass, leave me a message or write it in the comments. I will put together another mirror work masterclass. It really is my favorite class to teach. I fucking love it. Okay, so those are like the two big things, right? One, they haven't done their own inner work. Another side note to that, well, here. One, they haven't done their own inner work. So they are judging you through their own filter. They see your confidence as conceit. They see your beauty as a mask, right? Like, I do wear makeup, right? I do put on a pretty face in the mornings when I come to do my live streams. Why? Not because I'm afraid of how I look. You guys, I did a live stream with no makeup on my back porch 2 days ago. It's that on Sunday mornings when I come to do my live stream, I fucking like looking hot. It's just a personal choice. Not because I need to feel made up, not because I'm putting on a mask for you guys, not because I'm afraid of you seeing my wrinkles or my fucking under eye bags, which I've had since the moment I was born. Because of how many times I cry on my live streams. I have no makeup on in my live streams. I'm dirty as fuck from the garden on some of my live streams, right? So, okay, people can say, like, okay, she always needs to be made up, but that's literally not true, and there's tons of evidence, right? Your fears of their judgment is because you're letting that false evidence appear real to you, right? Fear, false evidence appearing real. You're allowing your own filter to come back. You're like, oh shit, they were talking bad shit on me. Or for me, it's usually because I wasn't hanging out with a lot of the healing community. When I go to do something with someone else, it's their reputation that now all of a sudden I'm dealing with. We're like, oh, I had no idea this person had a reputation of using the other healers and like stealing their clients. Or, oh, I had no idea that this healer is considered a Casanova or whatever, right? So all of a sudden, like, I'm getting DMs, oh, do you know this? Blah, blah, blah. Did you hear that she yada, 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 yada? And then she did this, and then she did that, and then she did this. Like, I would not do that with her, blah, 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 blah. Like, she's totally bad news. If I were to listen to all of the gossip that gets sent to me, Salt Lake is a cesspool for gossip, guys. Everyone knows each other. It's 2 degrees of separation. It's not the 8 degrees of separations around here. Like, everyone knows everyone. Like I said, I go to a party, and if you've heard the name Karen and she had no hair, it was me. And I have to deal with that. But if I let every person who slid into my DMs telling me about the people that I'm working with, I would never collaborate with anyone. And I actually love collaborating with people. I like being the bitch in charge, don't get me wrong. But I also love collaboration. And if I were to listen to every person who talks about the people that I work with, I wouldn't work with anybody, and that would suck, right? Same thing with my own coaches. People be like, oh my God, I can't believe that you learned from that woman. Blah, blah. Do you know that she did this, 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 and this? Well, first of all, I can't go back 2.5 years and undo the coaching that I did with said coach. So I can't like undo that. So who used to be my mentor really shouldn't have any bearing. But as soon as they find that out, guess what? Now my teachings get thrown under the bus. Now all of the other coaches that I've worked with, all of my own inner work doesn't matter because I mention someone's name on a live stream or I say a sentence that I learned from them, which we all do. And they're like, oh my God, you learned from this bitch, blah, blah, blah. She's a cult leader. She's a this, she's a that, she's a blah, 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 blah. And then they're sliding into their friends' DMs like, don't work with Karen. She's a part of that cult, yada, yada, yada. I might not have talked to that person since 2019, and that doesn't matter. Again, they're not letting me change. They're not letting me change. They're not letting my former mentor change. They're not letting themselves change. Why are you still mad that you invested in a program that you didn't fucking show up for or that you weren't ready for and your whole life fucking broke apart into a million pieces working with her? You know what? That coach is the one who taught me that sometimes coaches need fucking warning labels, right? Sometimes you come off as a narcissistic, arrogant bitch, and that's because you're so fucking confident. And that's also the reason why people hire you. I want to trigger my clients. I want to send that electricity through their body. I want their whole lives to start to shake loose because that's the way that we move it faster. It's the reason why those shaking meditations get so deep and like into your psoas and into your core and you're working muscles you didn't even know existed. And afterwards, you're transcended to a whole nother state that you've never been in before. Body, mind, soul, emotion, everything interconnected, full whole life alignment in every lifetime so that you can stick to the highest potential timeline for the betterment of the planet, right? This is not a personal game as far as I'm concerned. There's tons of personal gain, but I'm in line with the divine will of the betterment of the planet, which again is how you get solid, right? So let's get into the unfuckwithable part. The unfuckwithable part, I love that this is Sunday today so that I can really like We're going to call in that sun power. Like, come on, soul. Come on, golden solar dragons. I'm calling you in. We're going to do this. We're going to go hard. We're going to make sure it hits and that it lands. Okay. A couple of weeks ago. Hold on. Or a threat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, or a threat. Totally. Sorry, Instagram flashing you. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a birthday party and it was cold, right? Like it was windy and it was like threatening to rain and the sun wasn't there, but it was an outdoor barbecue birthday party because, Utah weather in April can be kind of iffy. So we're outside and I start making a joke that I'm like, it's okay. The sun and I have some beef from a couple billion years ago. I owe him some money, right? So I'm sitting there in my own little chair with my coat on, and I'm thinking about how I am as bright as the sun. That I have my own sun right here in my solar plexus, and that I can be as bright and as warm as the sun, right? I start doing some breath of fire, doing all these things, warming my own body because I fucking hate being cold. Someone who had fibromyalgia, cold has always been is my nemesis, especially windy cold, right? I can deal with like snow and rain and shit. As soon as you add some northeast winds, I'm fucking frozen to the bone. And I've had to learn these tricks. How do I keep myself warm? So I just upped it a little bit and was like, I'm not only just going to keep myself warm, I'm going to keep the whole party warm. And the sun kept coming out, right? Like the sun would come out and then the wind would show up. And I'm like, okay, so the wind's a little bit more of a bitch. I might have fucked her husband back a couple millennia ago, right? Again, joking, just joking, but owning the fact that I am as powerful as the elements, right? Because I am. I have a photo shoot later today. I am holding the vibration that this clear weather stays, even though the Weather Channel says that there's a 30% chance of rain. Like, motherfucker, no. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be perfect. This is going to be the best damn shoot to date. And every shoot I've had for the last year has been the best. Like, each subsequent one is the better one than the one before. It's so fucking cool, right? But this is the joke, right? I'm as bright as the sun. Can you own being the sun, though? That bright, right? So bright that you are warming planets, that you are the reason why life exists, that you are, right? You're no different than every star, and every star is like that sun. Yeah? This week on our new moon meditation and Superconscious Leader, we became the tree of life that reaches up and touches every star. And we became the star that comes down and becomes the tree of light, right? So you're both rooted all the way down into Gaia and then rooted all the way up into Source. And we were conduiting this energy through us. That's the boldness. Like you want to be a superstar, right? She's a star, she's a star, she's a star, a superstar. Like that's the level of, this is why I've been talking about high-end healing, why I've been talking about, innovators going to back into the corporate world and getting that coin that's sitting there and is accruing energy. The currency, the energy current of money is getting stuck with all of this energy that's like sticky, root of all evil, power play, blah, 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 blah bullshit. And the healers that want to heal the planet are like, but I can't be wealthy because the money is just like gross. The money's only going to get ungross if we clean it. We got to wash our money, not in the laundering way, but we got to wash the money so that the current of energy of money can come into New Earth. And yeah, most likely we're going to get rid of money really fucking fast because someone's going to invent the replicator. We're going to figure out bilocation. Like, we're not going to need money in the next 100 or so years. But in the meantime, step up, raise your prices, start really showing up and investing in yourself the way you expect other people to invest in you. Do the fucking work to stop with your money mindset bullshit story and know that getting a massage is just as fucking valuable as getting business coaching advice. paying a business coach $1,000 an hour and then bitching that your massage therapist raised her prices to $250 an hour, that shit is ridiculous. Sometimes your massage is actually more valuable than your business coaching is. We have some warped sense of self-care going on here, guys. Ridiculous. So you be as bright as the sun, right? But even that, right? Oh, blah, 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 business coaching, yada, yada. Like that is like gossip, right? You've got this gossip like, oh, the high-end coaches and this, look. Do you think that people really have? Yeah, guys, there are lots of people out there with millions and millions and millions of dollars that don't know what a chakra is, that have no idea how to conduit their energy, that do not know that the way that they've been manifesting their life actually does have a formula to it, and they can replicate it in all areas of their life. But so many healers are like, we can't work with the rich and famous and the wealthy. There's a tarot reader in LA. J-Lo's tarot reader charges $1,200 a session. So get over it. Be the sun. And stop caring that people are talking shit, right? Like, yeah, people are going to be mad when you raise your prices. That's okay. You know that the reason why you're raising your prices isn't for, well, I mean, it could be. Could be because you want a Lamborghini. Could be because you want all this personal gain stuff. Maybe there are some things you want to do. You want to go pay off your mama's mortgage for her, whatever. For the most part, most of us want to make that level of money so that we can give it back, right? So we can go feed all the starving children, so that we can clean up all the oceans, so that we can help with the deforestation in the rainforest, all of that stuff, right? We have a non-selfish reason for needing billions of dollars. You were not put on this planet with a soul mission connected to Gaia to then struggle and suffer your way through it. You've been struggling, you've been suffering, you've been doing the work. Own the fact that you've done the work, and guess what? You can't be fucked with. Okay? I know that I am a white girl pulling this, but like, oh, damn it. Being unfuckwithable is being able to take it, right? People talk shit. They talk shit on me. They talk shit on my associates. They talk shit on my family. And instead of going into fight or flight or freeze, faint reaction mode, right? Oh my God. No, you think that that's bad. Well, I heard that you did blah, 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 blah. Well, what about this and what about that? Like, I could just match the energy. But what is happening there is then a low vibration energy exchange. When instead I could do with their energy the same thing I do with any low vibration, right? Because I talk about how low vibration isn't actually a thing. Energy in motion. Energy in motion. All emotion is energy in motion. Even jealousy, even shit talking is energy in motion. Even gossip has its own energy. So I can take that low frequency energy, move it through me, conduit it, and manifest a new weekly live event at one of the city's like premier art galleries, right? Healing events inside of a fine art gallery. It's never been done before. Not at the caliber that I'm doing it, not at the level that I'm doing it, not with the people that I'm doing with, right? A totally new concept to the Salt Lake County area. And yet, I know that I'm led by source. I'm led by my pleasure. I'm led by my heart. I'm led by my pussy. I'm led in all of these ways that are exactly how I was led to unschool my kids, exactly why I was led to open my relationship, exactly why I was led to create a business that I was able to launch at 5 figures, right? My first ever coaching client was a $12,000 coaching client, right? Like this is, there are ways, but it takes tenacity and discipline. This is about the mental discipline of not giving a fuck. I might actually go back and edit the the description of this because this is a mental discipline of not giving a fuck. There are no more fucks to give. Like I don't know where all you guys all get these fucks from because I've got none left to give because I only care, right? About things that are going to better myself, my family, my community, and the world. If it's not adding, then I'm definitely not going to allow it to subtract from me. Every experience is always adding to me, right? It's the sun too, right? The sun is inside. Do you guys know that the sun has enough energy inside of it? It's not pulling energy from space to then create its brightness. It's all in here. There's all these fucking nuclear bombs going off in the very center. And the light that's hitting our earth right now actually was in the very center of the sun like 10,000 years ago. It takes that long for the photon to get from the center all the way out through and then have a coronal mass ejection that allows it to like come here. Okay? Fucking science of the sun right there if you didn't know how it worked. So the light that's on our planet right now started inside the sun 10,000 years ago and now is finally reaching us. Now it only takes 8 minutes once it's out to get to us. So when the sun explodes, it will literally take 8 minutes for us to figure that out. Actually, we'll probably be dead by then, but it's fine. But it comes from in here, right? You have a sun. It's called your solar plexus. Soul. Our sun's name is Sol. You have soul right here. Solar plexus. You have your own sun. You can rival the sun. But what happens in sunlight? A lot of people ask me, like, why don't you wear sunglasses anymore? I used to wear sunglasses all the time because I believed the lie that they say staring directly at the sun is going to ruin your eyes. There's actually not very much evidence that unless you sit there with fucking binoculars, and what's happening is actually the same thing as like when I'm magnifying, you're like a little kid and you're burning grass, right? That's what's happening to your eyes, but it's usually there has to be some sort of like magnification over a long period of time hitting your eyes. Solar codes, which is going out and looking at the sun. You can, like, this time of day I would go like this so that my eyes are just like barely open, so because it is bright as fuck. But when the sun is setting, my eyes are wide open, and I actually play a little game where I'm like, I'm making the sun bow to me right now, bitches. I understand that the world is turning and that the sun is just setting, but the conversation in my head is, I am a queen. I am Dragon Empress Karen. The sun bows to me and I bow to no one. Right? I rival the energy of the sun. I am big. I am bright. I am bold. I am beautiful. I am a badass. These are the things that you continue to say and you get bigger and brighter. And it's the reason why Kanye don't give a fuck about all the people that talk shit on him when he ran for office. And he is the richest black man in America, right? One of my friends grew up with Kanye West. So it's pretty crazy to listen to them talk about who Kanye was back then and who he is now and how a bunch of his morals and all this stuff, they actually haven't shifted. The only thing that shifted is the public perception of who he is. Same thing with Beyonce, same thing with Lady Gaga, same thing with Trump, same thing with Biden, same thing with Obama. Think about all the people that are in the camera, in the spotlight. Humans are set up for negativity bias, guys. I can't believe that it took me 47 minutes to get to this point. We are set up for negativity bias, meaning our body is physiologically set up to react and respond more to negative inputs than positive inputs. It's the reason why you go on Yelp and there's 1,800 negative comments to every like one positive, or actually it's usually like, I think it's like an 8-to-1 ratio. Inside your mind, it takes 5 positive thoughts to negate one negative thought. Okay, like that's the level of like one negative thought is going to send your body into this, and it's going to take you 5 positive to do the opposite in your body, right? That's negativity bias. It's set up in our nervous system, in the way that we are created as people on this planet right now. And that's what we mean by changing the DNA. This is what we mean by when we're saying we have crystalline DNA activation. Our body is shifting, our actual like human form, and we are evolving. We're evolving into people that are okay with thriving, that don't put upper limits on ourselves as a way to stay safe, that don't associate ourselves with our ego, which is actually just this like blipping radar looking for danger, danger, danger. When you just are always associating with the part of your brain that's looking for danger, honey, you're gonna be depressed. You're gonna be anxious. You're gonna have all those fears and all of that what ifs going on in your body. But that part of you is just one single part of you. There's the part of you that's your higher self, right? That's how we associate with ego and higher self. It's still you, honey. You're still your higher self. You are manifested here. You are a fractal of God. You are a fractal of the divine manifest in physical form. You are not different than the sun. You are not different from Source. You are not different from Yeshua. You are not different from Mary Magdalene. You are not different from Ganesha. You are Shiva and Shakti. You are. Okay? You might not like hear me now, believe me later, baby, but you are the Shakti Shiva energy. You are the Kundalini. You're not having a Kundalini awakening, honey. You're remembering that you are the Kundalini. Yep, I always have more than I need, right? I'm always supported. Everything is always working out in my favor, right? There's a reason why we have these mantras and we have to brainwash ourselves, guys. That's what mirror work is. Mirror work is self brainwashing. It's conditioning your mind away from what you were taught in your elementary school years and coming back to the badass toddler self that you are. I love that I've gone through most of my growth while I've been raising two babies. Well, right, so I have three kids, but my oldest was 6.5 when I had my second. And then my second was only 2 when I had my third. So I have had like toddlers for the last 4 years pretty much. Alex just turned 6 and Zena's about to turn 4. Zena, you literally just saw her. She don't give no fucks. She doesn't care that I'm on a live stream. That means nothing to her. She wants someone to go close the window for her downstairs, and damn it, she wants it now, right? But we condition that out of our kids, right? She goes around dressed up. She talks about her pussy. She talks about her boobies. She's talking about her body image. And how many other parents would shame her for that? How many other people would be like, honey, that's not appropriate? Or if you're going to go touch yourself, you got to go in the other room. All these things where instead, like, explore yourself, learn yourself, creativity, right? All of my walls in my house have painting and color and Sharpies and all of that. And old me would have lost my shit. If Leo would have done that, I promise you he probably would have gotten spanked. Because I was a totally different person when he was a toddler than I am now, right? And yes, I will pay for his therapy if he needs it. Right? Like that's owning it, right? I own my story, but I don't let the fact that I used to be a neglective, abusive mother mean anything now, right? It doesn't mean anything now because that's not who I am now. So all that shit you're talking doesn't mean anything. And if you're going to try to talk shit on someone that I'm working with because of something they did a year ago, I'm still not going to give a fuck because I'm testing their energy now. I feel their energy now. There's a connection now, right? There's a reason why when I like ended my relationship with my twin flame when we went through separation, why I wasn't talking about it on the internet and why I wasn't talking shit and why I still will never talk shit on him and he's still like my best friend. And guess what? We've come back into what they would call reunion, right? We're starting to work together again. Totally different relationship, totally different boundaries. There's not the raw hormonal magnetism that there was before, but there's still this crazy cosmic connection. That sort of stuff, there's a reason why I wasn't talking about it because I didn't want either of us having to deal with the energy or the repercussions or any of that. And plenty of people were talking on their own. We were getting DMs all the time, both of us. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. This, blah, 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 blah. And we had to own, like, okay, you guys don't understand our relationship. We don't even understand our relationship. But we don't give a fuck what you think. We're going to follow our hearts. We both have done enough inner work, right? Tons of people are like, why is my twin flame? Why have we been in separation for so long? Because one or both of you aren't doing the inner work, honey. And that's okay. Maybe we're only supposed to meet for a second. Maybe it's a false twin. There's a reason why I don't even like speak on it anymore because it's so confusing that I'm like, twin flame journeys are your own fucking thing, guys. I love you. I can give you some tips on what my journey's been like, but they are a whole new fucking rabbit hole. But even then, like people being like, well, you're married, but you have a twin flame and they're not the same person. That talk shit, right? Shit gets talked. Gossip happens. I've been talked on my whole life. So this is the reason why I'm really feel confident in telling you guys about this. My whole life, I was gossiped about. I wasn't the right religion. I wasn't the right looks. I was tall. I had big boobs. Um, I was very angry, right? Like my nickname in junior high school was the Hulk. And I didn't even realize how angry I was, right? There's all these things that like I was talked mad shit my whole life. My best friends would talk shit on me if I wasn't around. My reputation was always, and I was weighed down by it. There's a reason why I used to weigh 200 pounds and why I was a size 14 from the time I was in like 10th grade until the time I was 30, right? That's like 15 years of being that big. Always drama. People always talking shit. Someone was always stirring the pot. There was always a huge melodrama to deal with. But that's because I was doing it too. I was talking shit on my friends behind their backs. I was talking about the girl in the club, and I wasn't thinking about how I should get my ass to the gym. I was thinking about what a dumb, skinny bitch she was. So when I came into my own energy alignment and was like, I am beautiful just as I am, that's when I started losing the weight, guys. I didn't lose half of my body mass, which is like my size. I'm a size 4 now, and 35 pounds. So if you ever wondered if weight was equated to size, it's not. I lost 35 pounds. I weigh 150 pounds now. So I was like 195. So 45 pounds, but half of my size, right? Size 14 to size 4, that's pretty fucking dramatic. Was because I was willing to say I am sexy even when I was that big, right? And I was owning who I am. And I was willing to say I am bright like the sun. And my last thing that I want to say on this, guys, light workers and healers who talk shit on other light workers and healers are not fucking light workers. And the reason why is very simple. If you are so confident that you are the sun, then the most exciting thing for you should be to see a deep, dark pit where there's no light. That should turn you the fuck on. Like, okay, ready to go. I'm ready for the test. I'm ready, like, come on, coach, put me in. And you take a running jump and you fucking cannonball. Anyone ever seen Moana? Right? That scene when they're going into the realm of monsters and Maui goes in and he's like, choo! And he just fucking cannonballs himself into the realm of monsters. That is what it's like when you're really actually a light worker. You see shadowy shit and you're like, test me. Come at me, bro. Come at me with your shit. Come at me with your addictions, with your trauma, with your this, with your that. Because I am so big and I am so bright that I'm going to light this world on fire. Right? You're not afraid of the dark anymore because you have your own light source. And you are big and you are bright and you are shiny. Shiny. Right? But he loves talking about himself. He's a big crab. Fucking monster, sitting alone in the realm of monsters. That's what I mean. You have to be able to be alone. But that means when you're presented, right? Like I'm getting a lot of call to start working with addicts and those dealing with like really deep trauma coming from like lifelong depression from childhood wounds, right? That's a place where I'm being called into. And I never thought that I'd go work there, right? I never thought that I'd be working with addicts. But it's happening more and more and more because their addiction to these substances is trying to fill a gap. And instead, we get them addicted. Yes, I still use the word addicted to their passions, right? They're getting off the coke and they're going into their space and they're doing their work and they're not needing the cocaine to get their work done, right? This is why I do my work because I'm not afraid of me becoming an addict by hanging out with addicts. I know plenty of light workers that overcame their own addictions and they will not work with someone with an addiction because they're so afraid that they're going to relapse. If you actually have done the inner work, there should be no fear of relapse. Right? This is what I mean. You are afraid of your power if you're talking shit on other people and you claim to be a light worker or a healer. You have some sort of thing where being powerful, being bright, being shiny, being the sun is somehow negative to you still. And you're not willing to go to the shadowy places. You're not willing to go to the dark places. You're not even doing your own fucking shadow work, and yet you sit there and have the audacity to try to walk other people through theirs. If you're talking shit, you're gossiping behind people's backs, you're allowing people to gossip to you. Because remember, they're like no one can gossip if you walk away. So the fact that you're sitting there and listening to the gossip means that you're adding to it. Unless it ends with, I'm not interested. If this is the only thing we're talking about, I'm cutting my lunch date with you early, right? You have to have the boundary that, like, the less I talk shit on other people, this is something that I've noticed in my own life too. The less I'm gossiping, the less gossip happens about me, right? I have a friend that's literally, he'll come in and he'll start talking and I will be like, I'm not interested. If the only thing we're going to do is talk about this, then you can go home because I'm really not interested. You want to talk about the conjunctions in the planets, you want to talk about the gardening, you want to talk about this, you want to talk about that, I'm cool. But if the only thing we're going to talk about is somebody who slid into your DMs and was talking shit, I'm not interested in that conversation, right? That's how you solidly do you, right? You stay in your own fucking lane, right? Blinders on, fingers up, stay in your lane, right? My daughter is right outside the door. Her dad is there. I promise. If you can hear her crying, she is being taken care of by an adult. So, with that, I'm being called to draw a dragon card right now. It doesn't usually happen for us on these Sunday morning lives, but it's happening today, and we're going to close with this. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments now, because I have wrapped up my statement for the day. Pretty much, we can summarize this. If people are talking shit, they haven't done their own inner work. If you're talking shit, you need to do your own inner work. Knowing that you've already done your inner work and people talking shit, that should be used as a way for you to be like, ooh, people talking about me, right? Like, take it as a compliment. Think about the fact that, like, we always say that, what is that phrase? That, copying someone is a form of flattery. It's not intimidation. It's, what is the word? When you copy someone, when you just like imitation, sorry, not intimidation. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? So, or what I say, any press is good press, right? If they talking about you, that means you being talked about. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Because while there might be 8 bad Yelp reviews for every 1 good Yelp review, that 1 good Yelp review might be so good that you don't give a fuck about the other 8 bad ones, right? And also, if you're someone who doesn't write Yelp reviews that are positive, like, go take a time to do it. Trust me, like, it's gonna really benefit that business a lot if you take the time. So how many of you have ever done that, though? How many of you have written a shit Yelp review or Google review because you were so pissed? And then how often have you gone and written an amazing Yelp review because it was so good? I bet you it's the same 5-to-1 thing, guys, because of our own negativity bias, right? So that's something you can start switching up in your own life. Start writing the positive reviews. Don't worry about writing the negative ones. Someone else probably got you there. When someone is talking shit, take it as a fucking compliment. Like, ooh, they talk about me again? Okay. And you can turn that into more confidence. Now, listen to what it is. If it's something like, she's an arrogant bitch, then you can go sit in the mirror, do the mirror work that I teach, and own the fact that you an arrogant bitch. Who cares? Why does it matter? Why does my confidence have anything to do with you? It has to do with you because you don't think that you're allowed to be that confident. There is fear. There's something that you need to work through. That's why I have the clients that I have. It's fucking delicious. I love being the person that knows that every single one of my clients is going to be a superstar. Every single one of my clients is going to change this motherfucking planet. Every single one of my clients will absolutely be someone that people write about in history books. Fuck to the motherfuck yes, as far as I'm concerned there. But history has its eyes on you, as the line from Hamilton says, right? The more you get big, the more power you have, the more you allow yourself to shine and to be the one in power, creating the policies, creating the change, being the change you want to see in the world, the more shit's gonna get talked on you. The more they're gonna gossip behind your back. And you can either let it crush you and let your careers crumble like Amanda Bynes and the Olsen twins and all of those fucking kid actors that we don't see anymore, or all the relapses, or all the things that have happened there, whatever the fuck happened to Dane Cook, or be like Kanye, be like Beyonce, be like Lady Gaga showing up in a motherfucking meat suit, dress, whatever it was. You know how many vegans threatened her life after she showed up in a dress made out of meat? And then she's still putting out bangers? Like, I get that relating to Hollywood can piss a lot of people off because they're like Satanism and this, that, and the other. But guess what? That's not going to change in Hollywood until more of us are the ones they're hiring in Hollywood. Guys, like, don't you get it? The government's not going to change unless there's super conscious leaders in charge. The music industry is not going to change unless there's super conscious musicians in charge. The acting and the Hollywood and all of that isn't going to change unless there's super conscious actors and producers and directors and all of this, until everything is being coded consciously to raise the vibration of the planet. And that is going to mean you stepping into the spotlight, you owning that you are a star, you owning that you are as bright as the sun. And that when you are as bright as the sun, people are going to talk shit. Think about how many people get mad on a sunny day. Oh, it's so bright out here. It's so hot. I'm going to get a sunburn. They're putting on fucking cancer-inducing creams on their body to block the sunlight, when the type of sun rays that cause cancer actually aren't blocked by sunscreens. That's a different live stream, right? Or you just know, like, you only go in the sun for 20 minutes at a time, right? Know how to take care of your own skin. How do I go with not being sunburned? Oh, I know how my body works. I know how my skin works. I know what my timing is. You take 100% responsibility. You are the author of the story. You are the one who is in authority, right? The authority of your life, the author of your life. Knowing your worth, knowing you are unfuckwithable. No one's going to take me off my path. No one's going to stop me from getting the motherfucking White House. No one's going to stop me from becoming an Oscar-winning actress and a Grammy Award-winning musician and a fucking Tony Award-winning actress and an Emmy Award-winning act. Like, I'm going for the EGOT, right? Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, EGOT, and I'm going to be president. Those are big dreams, people. You gotta have the superstar in you. And it's not just because I'm a Leo. It's not just because I'm a dragon. I used to have shit self-confidence, people. Honestly, go back on my Facebook. Go on to the timeline. Click down to 2010, 2011, 2012. Go look at pictures of me and then shoot me a DM. Go look at my first live streams from 2017 and 2018. And then come back and watch this one. My confidence is built on the fact that I am the one in charge of my life. My confidence in being able to show up and expose as much of my life as I do. I am here. I am raw. I am real. I am authentic. Nothing I say to you is sugar-coated. In fact, I'm sure a lot of you wish that I would filter a little bit more sometimes. You don't need to know about your sex life, right? But this is me. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I need no apologies. This is me. Right? This is who I am. This is who I was born to be. So you best be watching, because I'm just going to keep getting bigger and brighter. And if you're with me and along for the ride, hold on. We're going, like, hold on. Imagine I'm the boat and you're the person holding on the back and you're wakeboarding. Baby, hold on, because we're going to the moon. Okay? Ooh, this is such a good live right before I'm going to go to a photo shoot. I love it. Okay, we're going to pull a dragon. Oh, flipped out. Ooh, I love these guys. Okay. So the dragon that literally flipped around, I don't know if you could see that, is the blue dragon from the Pleiades. So Pleiadian light codes have been coming in hard since the new moon. Prepares you to accept source healing. Okay, source healing, meaning remembering that you are the source and you are the vessel, right? You are the source and the vessel, both. You're the source of your own happiness. You're also the one that accepts your own happiness. Your inner work is the reason why these things, you've been putting in your orders to the universe. You are worthy of eating the fucking salad that you just asked the universe to deliver you, even if you asked for the salad 4 years ago, right? I have a manifestation, guys. My office that I have now, this is going to be my master bedroom, but this is my study for years. I now have an office outside of the house. This is a 13-year manifestation. I became a massage therapist 13 years ago this month, and it has taken me 13 years to have my own out-of-house office That wasn't a room being rented inside of a spa. That wasn't me going in with another massage therapist. That is 100% mine. So I can do my coaching and I can do my body work and I can do my online stuff from my own space that isn't going to get interrupted by toddlers, right? That isn't going to have someone trip and fall in the backyard that you can hear out through the window. 13 years it's taking me. Okay? And then there's other things like me talking to my friend about a situation on like a Tuesday, and by the following Friday, 3 fucking days later, he's like, and here you go. Right? Smaller manifestations might take less time. But if you don't think you're worthy of it, if I didn't think I was actually worthy of having the experience that my friend's presenting me, then it wouldn't be presenting. And it wouldn't be presenting that fast. That's one of these things where my is like, oh, you think that you need to focus over here. But by the way, here's all these other things right here for you. And I could take them as distractions, or I could be like, no, everything's always working out for me. I'm always in the right place at the right time. Any opportunity that's presented to me is for the betterment of my growth. I don't look for tests anymore. I only look for miracles. There's no obstacles in my path. I don't have upper limit problems. I have opportunities for growth. That's it. That's it. I'm not, oh, is this a test? Oh, where's the miracle? You got to shift there. So that's another thing that these dragons are saying. Accept heart activation, give and receive heart healing. So this, even though we've been talking a lot about the solar plexus, you have to have value, right? This is the willpower, the prioritization, the will to move, the actual action taking chakra. But if you don't value yourself, if you don't value your creations, so if your heart and your sacral chakra are not connected through the solar plexus, then it's not going to matter. You're going to have all these great ideas. You're going to think, okay, maybe I can hold it. But if you don't value yourself, you don't value your creations, you don't value your life, then you're never going to have the will to move. If you don't value the life that you have and also value the life that you want, that it's okay that you want to meet the first billionaire in your family. Fuck millionaire. You want to be the first. I remember when I first met Colin, he made me laugh so hard. We're in one of Free Chihas groups and we're all putting down what amount of money we want to manifest in the year. And he's like $1 trillion. And Free's like, why didn't I think about that? Right? Guy's 21 years old, 22 years old, rolling up here. I'm going to be a trillionaire. Fuck to the motherfuck, yeah, right? So now what do I have on my vision board? $1 trillion, because I know that there's at least one other person out there vying for the first trillionaire status. But does that make me greedy? Does that make me selfish? Oh, what are you going to do with $1 trillion? Actually, a lot. There's a lot that I could do with $1 trillion. And not just for the benefit of myself and for my family and for my community, but for the whole planet, right? So I value that. I value working with high-end clients. I prefer to work with that clientele. Why? Because I think it's bullshit that there's so many people out there that think just because someone has money means that they don't need healing. Just because they have money and assets doesn't mean that they have childhood wounds or trauma. Actually, a lot of my clients have been through some fucked up things like incest, sex trade, all these things that I actually never heard any of the clients that can only pay a lower amount deal with. So it's a whole different type. Like the addiction thing, that's huge in those communities, right? Alcoholism, cocaine addictions, opioids, all of that stuff. Rich people deserve healing too. So do poor, like underprivileged, right? Your wealth status does not dictate the amount of wounding that you've had. That's the reason, like, it's a huge thing for me, right? We all deserve to get healed. We all deserve the opportunity to know who we are, what we are, and how we serve. We all have the opportunity and get to have the opportunity to heal to the point of knowing that we are worthy, to know our worth. Worthiness is a heart activation. That's what the Pleiadian dragons are telling us. It is time to know your worth, to know who you are. Who are you? You are a fractal of the divine. To know what you are. What are you? You are the divine manifested in physical form. And to know how you serve. How do you serve? One way and one way only. By singing your own song. Meaning showing the fuck up as you. Fearless authenticity. Unfuckwithability. This is who I am. This is me. Take me or leave me. I am solid. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I am worthy of all of my dreams coming true. And because I know I'm worthy, that guarantees my dreams will come true. That's a simple formula, y'all. It is very simple. It is not easy. Okay? Easy and simple are different things. It is a simple formula. That's where the work comes in. And when you know that you're doing your work, it doesn't matter how much shit is being talked on you. You could be raked through the mud, right? You can't get verbally assassinated. You can't get physically assassinated. There's no raking your shame through the mud anymore. I'm really looking forward to the point where we get this, where someone tries to talk shit on a politician and his wants to have sex with people, and everyone in the country is like, we don't give a fuck who he fucks. Is he a good representative? Right? How many sex scandals have ruined amazing politicians' careers that we never got to learn because everyone was so obsessed with who they were fucking? Right? Who cares that they were laundering money? Right? That's a gut, like, right? So maybe they're laundering, maybe they're breaking the law there, but why is it such a moral implication to everybody else? Who gives a fuck? He was stupid enough to get caught, right? Laundering money has been happening forever. Sex workers is literally the world's oldest profession. The things that we care about and the morality is just twisted. So I'm really, 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 really looking forward to the time where we have people like myself, where they, Miss Terrace, how do you think that you can run for office? I've Googled your name and there are pictures of your naked body all over the internet. And I can look at every single one of the news reporters in the room and say, I'm naked underneath what I'm wearing. Are you? Okay, next question, please. Because I'm body positive. I have a body, you have a body. I'm a body worker. I'm a body worker as a massage therapist. I've seen thousands and thousands of naked bodies. I think the naked body is beautiful. I am an artist. I am someone who models for nude photography, for figure drawing classes, all of these things. Standing naked in front of strangers is not difficult for me. Okay? So of course there's naked pictures of me on the internet. And I don't give a fuck. Right? And I'm not gonna care in 10 years either. In fact, I'm gonna be happy that I took pictures of myself when I was looking this good. Right? That's why you have to get solid in you. The sun is up there doing his thing. He doesn't care about the meteors running into him. He doesn't care about the fact that he's got 1,000 nuclear bombs going off every second. I think a couple million levels of fucking hydrogen nuclear bombs going off, right? Hydrogen bombs happening on the surface. Doesn't care. Gives no fucks. Zero fucks given. There are no fucks to be had here. That's where we get. Knowing ourselves, valuing ourselves, trusting ourselves, doing our work, so that when we get put on blast, that's a sign that we have arrived, right? Having our processes, moving through it. You got to go have a good cry after that article gets written for you about you. Go have the good cry. Don't shirk it off. Don't do all that. That's how you end up back into the addictions and back into the trauma. Move the energy through you. Same way you always do. Just use the gossip as just another thing, right? Someone gossips about you, you get to process it through the same way when you get jealous of someone else, the same way when you get angry, you want to go blow up something. You have your process. You just have something else that you get to process now, which is gossip, which is what people think of you. And just remember, when your reputation gets ruined, that's the freest you can be because now there's no expectations. Now you get to just be you and do you no matter what, and let them, let them talk shit. Let them say whatever they want to say. They're going to say it anyway, so stop giving a fuck, right? Like, really, being unfuckwithable is an art. It's a fucking art form. But honey, I'm an artist. And if you're ready to learn, make sure that you're hanging out, following me on all the things. We're going to be starting a new live stream every single week on Tuesdays. Taboo Tuesdays is going to be an online event We're going to have our Transcendental Tuesdays in-person live event so there's an online live in the mornings, evening live event, so live stream online on Tuesday mornings, live in-person event on Tuesday evenings, okay? This is going to be where we're going to talk. We're going to get into the taboo. We're going to get into the shadows. We're going to start talking about the shit. So excited. And not that I don't already, but it's going to be awesome. Dylan's going to be coming back, and we're going to be doing this every week. Then we're doing our live event here in Salt Lake. So if you didn't have Salt Lake City on your travel plans this summer, make sure you add it. Transcendental Tuesdays every Tuesday at Duvin Pintor inside Trolley Squared. Link is in my bio. Anything else going on? Yeah, I have a couple of spaces for one-on-one clients opening up this summer as well. So if you're interested, if you're ready to become unfuckwithable, you ready to own your dragon self, you ready to go rival the sun, you ready to go take on the winds and say, okay, honey, I know that I owe you money, but can we just chill for this photo shoot? Come let me know, because I'm excited. I love you. I'm so stoked. This is my time of year. I am a Leo. Like, this is when I thrive. I'm really excited to be able to share all of the things that I have for you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for being you. I couldn't do this without you guys. Honestly, I am so grateful for all of my followers and all of my friends and everyone who has supported me on the journey, who knows that I'm a different person than I was in 2018. I would love to hear from you guys, those of you who do go back and check some of my old lives, what you guys think. I think that'll be really fun for you. And go and look at some of your old stuff, right? Look at your own old pictures, look at your own old live streams, and look at how much you've really grown, okay? The rose does not become the flower immediately. There's all the thorns and all the leaves first. So I love you. Meditate with the blue dragons from the Pleiades. Go sit in the sun today on this beautiful Sunday. And I will talk to you all soon on Tuesday, 9 a.m. Love you.